The current count is four. Four involved in scandals, now in major cabinet positions. Defense, state, Treasury, and Justice. If this were the corporate world, any boss with four top deputies under scrutiny would face serious leadership questions or the unemployment line. So what kind of leader is President Barack Obama? Let's ask Democratic strategist Ryan Clayton and columnist for the Town Hall and Republican strategist Scottie Nell Hughes. All right, Ryan, I saw you shaking your head. Is the president in trouble?
You know, it's another week, another scandal.
That's what I said. That's my line.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think, what's really going on throughout the country, if you get outside of the bubble and you get outside of the television studio, I think most Americans are just a little in scandal shock. They've really jumped the shark this time with just another scandal on top of it all.
Jump the shark?
It's gone way too far. It seems like it's just all of these scandals all at once. And Americans are going, hey, Congress, when are you going to get back to work doing your job, putting the rest of America back to work and fixing the problems facing our country?
Go ahead, Scottie.
Introduce me to those people that want Congress to get back to work. I think we elect them to get to work in the first place. But here's the issue. You keep saying the word scandal. Scandal is about a president and an intern in an Oval Office, or maybe breaking into a Democratic office to find some dirt on the person you're running against. What we're dealing with here are not scandals. We're dealing with people's rights who've been infringed. We're dealing with people, blood, that were sacrificed, an ambassador and 3 former Navy SEALs that were killed and were murdered. That's not scandal to me.
Ryan,
that's betrayal.
Shouldn't Americans be concerned about the fact that, so many houses are underwater, mortgages, I should say, and the IRS is spending our money like it's, they're partying, they're getting drunk on it, they're staying in presidential suites. Shouldn't Americans be infuriated about that?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think there's a foreclosure epidemic in this country. I think there's an unemployment emergency going on, and it would behoove the people that are in our government to start spending their time, energy, and our money and our tax dollars fixing those problems. But they're so obsessed with the titillating politics of scandal that they can't see straight right now because they hate Obama so much that they're willing to sacrifice our country's future just to take a few cheap shots at him.
Cheap shots? You're sitting here talking about the IRS, who is undoubtedly corrupt, who's about to sit here and take care of Obamacare and tell me whether or not I can go to the doctor, and that's a cheap shot? It's called we have no respect and we have no trust in this government or the administration.
And the truth is, Ryan, that a lot of Democrats seem to be kind of jumping ship a little, and I think that this is a prelude to 2014. I think what's going to happen is you've got someone like Manchin from West Virginia who says that Holder should consider resigning. You've got Al Gore, who's stunned with what's going on with this, surveillance stuff. Conyers from Michigan, Cummings. Obama seems to not have the credibility or the support.
Well, that's the intention of the people that dreamed up all these scandals, the Republican operatives that are putting this all together.
No, the New York Times. Wait a minute. The New York Times is not a Republican operative. I've never seen such an incredible, scathing editorial where the New York Times comes out and says this guy is incredible anymore. You can't be surveilling us, spying on us.
Yeah, I think where the real shock is from these members of Congress with the wiretapping scandal coming out against the president. That's when they're jumping ship. They're the people who passed the Patriot Act. The same people in Congress that passed the Patriot Act, which authorized those programs, are now coming out against the president who is implementing the programs.
Wait a minute, president. You mean the same president that actually voted to extend him in 2011? The same president who not only did that, but he said in their
Congress voted to extend him.
No, he signed it into law. He signed it into law. He did exactly. Okay, so the president is responsible for these acts. And you know what? He was against them initially because Bush was for them. That's how it would be. If he really was against the Patriot Act, he would have repealed it his first year in office when he had control of both houses.
And let me tell you where the rub is here. I guarantee you that there will be a prosecution of someone as it relates to the leaking of that, because they are furious and they didn't want that information leaked. And you cannot say that President Obama is not responsible for the enhancement of the Patriot Act. And by the way, when he talks about returning to his authentic self, which self is he talking about? The one in favor of the Patriot Act, against the Patriot Act, or against it once it becomes public? Ryan, you got to feel like you're on the losing end of this.
Well, the reality is right now, whether it's a Republican administration, whether it's a Democratic administration, they're enforcing the most un-American piece of legislation this Congress has ever passed, and that's the Patriot Act. That's the Patriot Act. We must overturn that bill. It authorizes spying on American citizens.
So are you saying that as a Democratic strategist, the president is wrong in extending the Patriot Act that allows emails, the spying that's going on now?
The president
Answer it, yes
is
or no.
implementing the policy that Congress passed. That's his job as the executive authority in this
Hello, he is the president. He doesn't have to sign the law. You know it and I know it, so you're against it.
You know
you're
what?
against his
Great,
signing
then
the
let's
law.
put that.
Yes or no?
I'm against him signing that law.
Good,
Let's put that law back on the table in Congress. Let's overturn it. Let's get a better program that actually ensures
Are you
our
worried about
security
your
and
emails,
safety.
Ryan? You worried about your emails?
I mean,
No,
I'm not worried.
he's on their
I'm not-
side.
I'm not
You and I
worried
are
about-
worried. We're
I'm not worried about
he's
my
on us.
emails because of what I talk about in my emails. But what I will say is
How about
that
those pictures?
We're living
How about those pictures,
We're
Ryan?
living in a George Orwellian novel. You know, I mean, it's like this is like, you know, freedom is slavery and war is peace, kind of crazy talk that's coming out of this surveillance state. I mean, this is George Orwell, 1984.
You know what, Ryan? I got to tell you,
craziness.
even you are coming over to our side, right, Scottie?
I completely, and he says that they just dreamed this all up. Actually, this is not a dream. This is a nightmare, Ryan.
Can Obama-
in your presidency
You all
and your
did dream up the
administration,
Patriot Act, and your people passed it.
and
in
your guy
Congress.
didn't repeal it, and he voted for it. And
All right,
extended
guys.
it too.
Okay, is Obama going to lose whatever hope he had for having an immigration law, a second agenda? Is
Wouldn't
it
that
gone?
be
Is it
convenient?
shot?
What if we distract the president from addressing the actual issues facing this country?
We're the ones that distract.
Like
He doesn't
immigration,
distract. He
like
doesn't distract
immigration,
at all.
like jobs, like the foreclosure crisis, like you acknowledge. But
Should
these
the
people
IRS
are
be
obsessed with
investigated?
scandal.
Should the IRS be investigated, special prosecutor?
There is an investigation
no.
going
Yes, no.
into
Yes,
the
no.
IRS.
No,
right
they
now.
can't.
There's
Should
an
they
investigation into all of these
or
areas.
criminals? Should there be a special prosecutor?
Well, look, what I'll say about the IRS scandal is this.
Can you say yes or
The
no?
Tea Party groups, such as the ones you're involved with, they're political organizations. They're overtly political. They don't serve a social welfare
Oh,
purpose.
stop.
They're violating
You
the
know
law.
what? Stop filibustering.
George
Should
Soros.
there be a special
there should be an
prosecutor?
100%. And you know what? If they did not give us the material to actually have this, then this would not be a debate. They gave us the subject. They gave us the substance. It's our job to make sure that we bring the truth to light.
You two are really good, Ryan and Scottie. We're going to have you back. All right, you don't need to be friends now. All